let's fucking jump into the podcast. Finally, it's exciting. It's election night. It's fucking election night. It's crazy. You know
Yes.
the fucking.
I cannot
I
believe
can feel the
after
electricity in the air.
I know, actually though, I can feel the tension in the air, and I can't believe after living rent free in my brain for so long,
Mm.
like pretty much 2 years minimum. But I
Mm.
mean, you could say since November 2016, basically, this election has been living in my mind rent free, and it's finally happening. It feels surreal. It feels like a movie, you
Oh, for
know?
sure. Yeah, like finally, like the Donald Trump presidency should be over. But
Yeah,
who
it's
knows? Who
hard to
knows
see
what's gonna happen
past this
tonight?
moment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really.
exactly. Like I feel like I can foresee up to today,
Mm.
but then from here on, it's like uncharted waters. You
Like
know,
what
I have
happens?
no idea what
All
the
right.
fuck's gonna happen.
Do we get fucking sent to the camps? Any fucking leftist? Who knows?
Yeah.
But
I was
Caleb,
actually,
yeah.
I won't say his name for anonymity
Mm.
purposes, but someone reached out to me on Twitter today
Mm.
and said, I actually met you in real life, but I'm using like an alias because he's like a leftist,
Yeah.
and he like didn't want to say anything to me in real life or like on his main
Well, like
personal
on
social
campus.
media accounts. Right, like he didn't want to
Mm.
attach his leftism to his own name.
Mm.
And like I kind of was thinking, man, I fucked up by using my real shit, like my actual real name and everything on this podcast.
Mm.
Because if they ever do fucking purges, man, my ass is grass. I'm gonna have to flee the country. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we're
Like
gonna have to go
if they ever
to
start
Snow,
killing
Mexico.
communists, yeah, exactly. I'll have
Fuck.
no choice but to fucking run.
Jesus, yes.
Zion, welcome, man. It's good to see you. He says his volume is never consistent. I know it's a common
Hey,
problem on
bro.
this podcast.
Like sometimes I just like it. I just change it sometimes. You know, I got
Yeah,
like
so
this box right here that like changes my volume.
yeah.
Sometimes I'm feeling a little frisky. You know, and fiddle with
That's
the
the
knobs.
That's the bad thing about studio microphones is like they have a lot more settings you have to fuck
Mm.
with if you don't know,
I
how
mean,
to
hopefully I
work it.
sound
Because
better
I
now.
don't.
I mean, do I sound better now? Who knows?
No, you sound fine to me. It's
Okay.
just on the stream. Sometimes like I'm louder because I'm
Mm.
loud as shit when I
Mm.
talk.
Yes.
Yeah, but Xeon says, "Fuck this! I'm going to Japan. It would be sick, but I mean their work culture is
Yeah.
pretty shitty.
True.
Kind of neoliberal." Speaking of which, how do we choose what name we use for the Patreon? I'm not entirely sure, but if you send us a message on Patreon, we can put a note on your account.
Mm.
So and we'll read it, or you can just message us. I mean, you
Yes.
know us, so you can let us know what name we want you to or you would like to use.
Yeah.
That's no problem.
And I believe you can change your name because Grunt 980. It used to have his actual name, but then he's like, yeah, just use this name. I'm like, okay. And it updated
Yeah,
on
for sure.
Patreon, so
But also,
just
no one
fiddle your
knows it's
Patreon
you,
account.
so no one knows which one's you. So
Yeah.
if you change it, it won't be traced back to you. Fred says,
Unless.
I honestly have things going to help people that need to hide. Uh, I mean, I think like it's interesting because on one hand I'm like I wouldn't want to flee the country if they were killing people, but at the
Mm.
same time like I don't want to die. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I also
Like I
kind
don't
of
want
don't
to
want to
flee
leave the
my own
country. All
country.
right.
Yeah, exactly. Like I just like it here.
Mm.
I grew up here and it's okay, and I don't
The
want to.
internet's pretty good. I
Yeah, I
got
don't
a
want to
home here.
relearn how to live. Exactly.
I don't
My
really know
family's here.
Spanish either, so kind of hard.
Yeah,
Hard for me.
you'd be better going to Mexico because like
Yeah.
your family at least speaks Spanish, so you'd have
Mm.
someone like that you know. But
Yeah.
I don't have shit. Like
Yeah,
fleeing to
bro.
Mexico for me would be
Yeah,
pain in the
Japan,
fucking
bro.
ass.
Just take a boat.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just over the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah,
Stop by in
no big deal.
Hawaii for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
no big deal though.
I want to get into this first topic here. Caleb, someone said, "You are no longer my mother." This election is splitting families apart. It is tearing
Yes.
the foundations of these families. These families, they can't withstand the election. What's happening,
Yeah,
Caleb?
somehow these boomer parents are surprised that their young children are basically disowning them for voting for Trump.
Mm.
Like they cannot imagine a scenario where they are their votes have consequences.
Mm.
I saw in this Reuters, I don't know
Mm.
how to fucking pronounce this
I mean, who
shit
cares?
website.
Who
Who
cares?
gives a shit? But they wrote this article, excuse me, from the
Mm.
perspective of one of these mothers who's a Hispanic woman, an immigrant. I think
Mm.
she's a legal citizen, so she's not like under DACA or anything. She's just like a fucking regular immigrant, and she's voting for Donald Trump. And
Mm.
her son basically is telling her like, if you vote for Donald Trump, you're never gonna speak to me again. Like we're never gonna associate with each other again, and you're gonna be cut out of my life. And what does she do? She votes for Trump, and she's like, I can't believe he would do this. Like after telling me, like I don't get how politics can come between my own son.
Mm,
Like these people cannot understand that a vote is an
mm,
endorsement of someone's fucking platform. Like
yeah.
it's not just you're not just casting a vote for
Honestly,
nothing.
rightly so. That this son removed his mother from his clan.
Yeah, for real.
Rightly so.
Like if any of my family, I've had to do. It's very painful, like cutting out people that you know.
Mm,
You know, I recently connected with one of my friends from college, and like we never talked about politics. I mean, I don't bring it up on campus. I don't like to be the fucking target for
mm,
people like weirdos and fucking freaks and chuds.
yeah.
I don't want them to
Especially,
know
yeah.
who I am, right? So like I don't say much about politics. So I made this friend and he's like a fascist basically. He's like a
Damn.
raging fucking like
Fuck.
right winger and it sucks, man, cuz like I really hit it off with him and we never talked about politics and like now that I know what he is, I'm like
Well,
ghosting him basically.
you're a
It
fucking
sucks to
loser.
lose friends over
Hmm.
this shit because like these people they look at it and they're like how could you abandon someone over their political ideology? It's like what else would you abandon someone over? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like if someone's a drug addict, like you wouldn't abandon them for that. You'd be like,
Mm,
"Oh, I'll do what I can to help you." If someone's like, you know, having some other fucking personal problem, you never leave them.
mm.
But if someone's like, "I would like to own slaves. I would like to kill minorities." You're not like, "Oh, I still love you, but maybe don't do that."
Maybe
No, of
quit.
course not. You just stop supporting them. You
Yeah.
stop getting with them.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, that's unfortunate, really. But like the mother knew the consequences. You know, she's like if you vote for Trump, it's fucking over. Like they could have
Right.
lied because like how are they supposed to verify you
Yeah.
even voted for Trump? Like she could have said like, oh yeah, I voted for fucking Howie Hawking or fucking Joe Biden. You
Or
know,
just Biden. Yeah. It's like, or I just didn't vote. It's like, oh, I
yeah,
love you, son. You know, I wouldn't
I didn't
get
vote.
let this, and then just secretly vote. You know,
Yeah,
like they're not even willing to
yeah,
do that. And that's the thing is like that's because they're proud of the
yeah.
vote. Like that them saying like I can't
Their
believe
brain
politics
is
got
so
between.
rotted that they can't
Yeah.
even like understand that. Like Trump has
Yeah. Exactly.
rotted their brain to the fucking core, seeping out their fucking ears.
Yeah, they don't see it the way that other people see it. It's very fucked up. I think that like anyone though, if you happen to listen to this podcast
Mm,
and you're like cutting out your family
mm,
and friends or whatever, you can message me. I've gone through this
mm,
thing. I went through it with my mom. I didn't cut my mom out. My mom's amazing, but like her mom, like she went through this thing where she had to basically cut them out because they're abusive and things like that. It's extremely difficult when you get to know someone super well and they betray you like that. I mean, it's one of the
mm.
worst things that can happen to you, really. So, like,
Yeah,
feel free to message me if you need to talk about it.
you know,
Like,
and
I made
there's
it. If
yeah,
I can make it, you can make it. I promise.
and there's always communities you can always reach out to if you're ever feeling lonely, like us.
Yeah, for sure.
If you, I'm
Yeah, like
always
us.
people message us on Twitter. I always be sure to reply. And since I'm always in my fucking room 24/7 every day of the week, I'll be sure to reply to you as soon as possible.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like I don't know. It's I mean cuz I'm a fucking introvert, but I love
Mm.
getting messages from people. Like that guy that messaged me the other day. I hate that he feels the need to hide his identity because he's worried about what might happen to him if
Mm.
people find out that he's a leftist. I mean, that's obviously sad. But I love that I love getting people reaching out to me and being like, "Yeah, I
That's crazy.
heard your
Someone like
stuff," or
who listened to the podcast like met you.
yeah, well, I think I met him on Twitter, but he like
Oh.
ended up looking at my work and like seeing. He was like,
Mm.
"Oh yeah, I agree with everything you're saying." Like, but I'm too like I use this alternate identity because I'm worried about what people will think. Like,
Mm.
we go to the same school, and I totally understand that. Like, it's pretty idiotic of me
Yeah.
actually to use my real identity on this show because like people are fucking psychos. They'll hurt you. They'll kill you. They'll fucking like break your
The
shit. They'll
fucking
break in your
dox your
car.
ass. Fucking
Yeah,
find
like
out your work like place of work. Yeah, I mean that's something I definitely like worried about like starting this podcast and like
yeah,
man like what if like someone like called my place of work and was like, I mean my place of work already knows about my fucking podcast like so I don't really fucking care if they listen or not. But I mean it is what
yeah,
it is. I mean like if they want to fire me for shit I said on the podcast, hey, you know,
exactly. Yeah, I was talking
Patreon
with Grunt
help.
yesterday about this. Yeah, exactly. We need a fucking replacement for my income.
Yeah.
But I was talking with one of our friends in Patreons about this, and we came to the conclusion like basically it's not that we're embarrassed to be leftists. Like we would probably die for leftism, like because it's such a like it's something that we feel very strongly about.
Mm.
It's like a moral thing that we want to see happen in our lifetime, right? Like I would struggle for it. I would fight for it at great risk to myself. But the thing is like when you have a Bernie sticker on your car, for example, or you make like a communist podcast for fun with your friend online. Like some people take that shit super seriously and they'll just straight up like kill you for nothing. Like
Yeah.
they'll see a Bernie sticker on your car and just like shoot you. Like people are fucking psychos, and like I'll die in a fucking war against fascism, but I don't want to just get randomly killed for nothing. Like
Yeah.
that's such a waste.
Especially
I think.
to some alt-right chud, bro.
Yeah.
I'd kill myself before I let them kill me.
For real, bro. Yeah, like for real. Like I don't want to just get capped. Like I gotta
Yeah.
at least take one down with me.
Yeah,
Like
for
I
real.
don't want to be like just a bitch that gets shot for like having a Bernie sticker. Especially when I'm like not even a fan of Bernie. I was saying in this conversation last night how ironic it would be if for me to get shot for having a Bernie sticker. Like if someone came up to me and shot me and they're like, "You're such a communist, you Bernie supporter," I'd be
Yeah.
like, the irony would cause all of my blood to just evaporate from my body instantly, and I'd be like, "Really? I'm
Yeah.
getting killed for Bernie? Like, actually, I'm dying for this fucking liberal. I can't believe
Jesus.
it."
Yeah, that
Fred
sucks.
says,
Though.
"I worry more about the chuds than the government." Exactly. Yeah. Like I really don't worry about like my girlfriend's very worried about what Trump might do, and he's gonna steal the election. But I really don't think that that's the most dangerous thing. It's really the
Yes.
people who support him that I'm
From
worried
white
about.
supremacists, like fucking militia
Yeah.
groups, and like they're fucking just sprouting around. I mean, like one of the biggest ones that we've seen was those boys in Michigan, fucking trying to kidnap the governor, right? And like
Right.
those people are like fucking out there larping. They're taking their fucking assault rifles and they're doing legitimate like door clearing training, and like they're ready to fucking cause havoc.